Today, we're diving into something that's equal parts legend and controversy. We're talking about 5 Japanese domestic market, or JDM, cars that literally scared regulators around the world. Not just in the United States, but across Europe, Australia, and pretty much anywhere governments tried to control what people were allowed to drive. Let's get into it. Honda NSX Type R NA2. Let's kick things off with something special. My all-time favorite car, the Honda NSX Type R, specifically the NA2 generation built from 2002 to 2005. I know what you're thinking, but the NSX was sold here as the Acura NSX. And you're absolutely right. But here's the catch. The Type R never made it to the US market. And that's a real tragedy, because the NSX Type R is one of the greatest driver's cars ever built. First, let's talk about the regular NSX. This was Honda's supercar, launched in 1990 to take on Ferrari. And honestly, in many ways it did. It had a mid-mounted V6, an all-aluminum chassis, razor-sharp handling, and Honda's legendary reliability. It was developed with input from Ayrton Senna, one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time. My idol, and the reason I fell in love with cars in the first place. But the Type R, that was the NSX turned up to 11. Honda stripped out everything that wasn't essential. Sound insulation, air conditioning, the stereo, gone. They added stiffer suspension, closer gear ratios, and fine-tuned every component to squeeze out maximum performance. The NA2 Type R, built from 2002 to 2005, came with a 3.2-liter V6, making around 290 horsepower. Not huge numbers by today's standards, but the NSX was never about raw power. It was about balance, precision, and that high-revving, naturally aspirated character only Honda could deliver. The Type R weighed roughly 220 pounds less than the standard NS, and you could feel every single pound. The steering had perfect weight. The chassis communicated everything happening at the tires, and the whole experience was pure, unfiltered driving bliss. Only about 483 NA2 Type Rs were ever produced, worldwide, and none were sold in the United States, Japan only. For American enthusiasts, it became the ultimate forbidden fruit, a lightweight, track-focused evolution of an already iconic supercar that they simply couldn't buy. The NSX Type R turned into a legend among legends. People talked about it almost in whispers. It represented peak Honda engineering from the late 90s and early 2000s. High-revving NA engines, flawless manual gearboxes, and an obsession with driver feel. Now that the NA2 Type R is finally legal to import into the US, guess what happened to prices? Exactly, they skyrocketed. We're talking over $200,000 for a clean example. Some have sold for $300,000 or more. Is it worth it? If you're the kind of enthusiast who values driving purity above everything else, maybe it is. The NSX Type R is one of those cars that is more than the sum of its specs. Its experience, craftsmanship, philosophy. Honda and Acura eventually revived the NSX name with a modern hybrid supercar. But it's a completely different animal. Turbocharged, hybrid-assisted, all-wheel drive, computers everywhere. The original NSA, especially the Type R, was pure and analog in a way modern cars simply aren't. If money were truly no object, and I mean truly no object, would you go for the NSX Type R for its purity and rarity? I know I would, without hesitation. Nissan Skyline GTR R34. Now let's talk about the absolute king. The heavyweight champion of banned JDM legends, the Nissan Skyline GTR R34. If you've ever played Gran Turismo, watched Fast and Furious, or spent more than 5 minutes in any car community, you know this car. The R34 isn't just famous, it's practically the holy grail of JDM culture. It's the car that made an entire generation fall in love with high-performance Japanese engineering. Under the hood sits a 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-six, the legendary DETT. On paper, Nissan rated it at 280 horsepower because of Japan's gentleman's agreement. But here's the truth. That number was smoke and mirrors. Most R34 GTRs were already making around 300 to 330 horsepower straight from the factory. Handling razor sharp. The R34 dominated, winning 50 races in Japan's GT500 championship. It earned the nickname Godzilla because it was an unstoppable force that devoured everything on track. So why on earth was it illegal almost everywhere? In the US, the R34 never met federal safety standards. It was built exclusively for Japan. Right-hand drive, no US crash tests, no emissions compliance. And in the late 90s, Nissan was in deep financial trouble, losing billions. Spending a fortune to federalize one niche model made 0 sense. But American enthusiasts didn't care. They wanted the car. And that's when things took a very dark turn with a company called Motorex. Motorex was supposed to be the hero. They actually succeeded in federalizing the R33 Skyline GTR legally. Crash tests, safety upgrades, everything. The government approved it. For the first time, Americans could buy a legal Skyline. But then Motorex got greedy. They started importing R32s and R34s, completely different cars, and telling the government they were R33s. They reused the R33 crash test data and claimed it applied to all Skylines. Total fraud. The owner, Hiro Nanahoshi, was allegedly involved in all kinds of shady activity. Ponzi schemes, fraud charges, stolen cars, even rumors of ties to organized crime. The whole operation went off a cliff. In 2005, federal agents raided Motorex. The company was shut down, cars were seized, buyers lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the government shut the door on any future attempt to federalize Skylines that way. But there was one silver lining: the R34s. Motorex had already imported and sold were allowed to stay, only 14 of them. Those Motorex legal R34s became the rarest and most valuable Skylines in the US. One of them, formerly owned by Paul Walker, sold for over $500,000. Today, thanks to the 25-year rule, 1999 R34 GTRs finally became legal to import into the US in 2024. Things got even stranger in Europe and the UK. The UK actually had official dealer-sold Skyline GTRs. One of the only places outside Japan where you could walk into a Nissan showroom and buy one legally. The UK became a Skyline paradise. But in continental Europe, a nightmare. Countries like France, Spain, Italy, and the Netherlands made registering a Skyline nearly impossible. Emissions tests, paperwork, inspections. Some people say getting a Skyline legally registered in France is like finding the Holy Grail. And then came the plot twist. In 2022, the modern GTR R35 was banned in Europe and the UK due to new drive-by noise regulations. After 30 years on sale, the GTR was officially deemed too loud. The noise rules that took effect in July 2021 basically killed it. So even the modern, fully legal GTR ended up exiled. Toyota Supra MK4. All right, next up, another absolute legend. The Toyota Supra MK4, specifically the twin-turbo version. Now, here's the thing about the Supra. It was actually sold in the US from 1993 to 1998. But here's why it's on this list. The vast majority of the coolest Supra variants never came here. And even the ones that did are now old enough that people are importing the Japanese spec versions because they're often better equipped and less molested. The Japanese market Supras had some key differences. They got the better interior trim options. They got different turbos on some models, and they didn't have the same emissions restrictions. Plus, Japanese car culture meant these cars were often better maintained and had lower mileage. But let's talk about what made the Supra an absolute icon. the 2JZ GTE engine. This is, without exaggeration, one of the greatest engines ever built. It's a 3.0-liter inline-six with sequential twin turbos, producing 320 horsepower in Japanese spec. Again, that gentleman's agreement number. The 2JZ engine block is damn near indestructible. People are making 1,500 plus horsepower on stock internals. That's absolutely insane. The engine was over-engineered to a degree that Toyota probably never intended, and it created a tuning legend. The Supra became a hero car in The Fast and the Furious with that iconic orange Supra that Brian drives. After that movie, Supra prices went absolutely ballistic. What used to be a $30,000 or $40,000 used sports car is now easily six figures for a clean example. And here's where the band aspect comes in. After the Supra stopped being sold new in the US in 1998, Americans couldn't get the later Japanese models or special editions. Cars like the Supra RZ with the 6-speed Getrag transmission or special color schemes that were Japan only. Those were completely off limits until they hit 25 years old. The Supra represented this perfect storm of incredible engineering, bulletproof reliability, insane tuning potential, and movie star status. It became the poster child for JDM culture in America. What's crazy is that Toyota brought the Supra name back with the new A9 generation, co-developed with BM, but ask any purist, and they'll tell you it's not a real Supra. The MK4 is the one that matters. That's the legend. Nissan Silvia S15 next up is the Nissan Silvia S15. If the R34 is the king of JDM culture, the S15 is the crown prince of drifting, and it was basically illegal anywhere outside Japan. The S15 was produced from 1999 to 2002 and marked the final evolution of Nissan's legendary S-chassis platform. It's pure, lightweight, rear-wheel drive fun. The kind of car that makes you want to take the long way home every single time. Under the hood sits the SR20 DET, a 2.0-liter Turbo 4, making around 250 horsepower in the spec year. And the whole car weighs roughly 2,800 pounds. That power-to-weight ratio made it an absolute riot to drive. In the United States, it ran into the same wall as the R34. The Imported Vehicle Safety Compliance Act of 1988 strikes again. The S15 never met U.S. crash or emissions standards, and being a right-hand drive didn't help. Nissan never bothered to certify it because they already had the 240SX on sale here. Basically a softened American market alternative. So people got creative, very creative, and very illegal. Some shipped S15s labeled as parts and reassembled them in the US. Others swapped VIN plates from wrecked 240SXs onto imported S15s. It's widely believed that hundreds, maybe even thousands, of illegal S15s are on American roads today with completely falsified paperwork. The problem? If you get caught, you're done. The car gets seized and crushed. You lose every dollar you spent, and you could face criminal charges. Federal agencies have been cracking down on illegal JDM imports for years. The good news? The 25-year rule saves the day once again. The earliest 999 S15s officially became legal to import into the US in 2024. Australia had its own battles with the S15, and under SEVs, you could import one, but compliance was a nightmare. You had to convert the speedometer, pass emissions tests, and meet a list of Australian design rules. Some shops specialized in making S15s compliant, but the process was slow and expensive. By 2025, with Euro 5 style emission standards, getting an S15 approved became even harder. And quarantine inspections tightened up as well. The car basically had to arrive spotless, or customs would hold it. In Europe, the S15 was practically a unicorn. Almost no country sold it officially, and importing one meant navigating a maze of regulations that changed from nation to nation. The UK, once again, had it a bit easier thanks to right-hand drive. But Germany, France, Italy, nearly impossible. Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Now let's move on to Mitsubishi, specifically the Lancer Evolution 6. The entire Evo lineup is legendary, but the Evo 6.6, produced from 1999 to 2001, holds a special place. It represented the peak of 90s rally technology packed into a street-legal sedan that could embarrass almost anything on a twisty road. Under the hood, it had a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder making around 280 horsepower. Again, limited on paper by Japan's Gentleman's Agreement. In reality, the numbers were higher. Combine that with Mitsubishi's advanced all-wheel drive system, active differentials, and rally-inspired suspension, and you had a car that launched like a missile and cornered as if it were on rails. Mitsubishi built the Evo to dominate the World Rally Championship, and it did. The Evo went head-to-head with the Subaru Impreza WRX for years in one of the greatest rivalries in motorsport history. In the United States, Mitsubishi didn't bring the Evo until 2003, starting with the Evo 8. Earlier generations, including the Evo 6, were never federalized. They didn't meet U.S. crash safety, emissions, or regulatory requirements. Mitsubishi made a business decision: focus on other markets first. The U.S. had to wait, watching from the sidelines, while these cars became legends overseas. The Evo 6 finally became eligible for import into the U.S. in 2024 under the 20-year rule. We've just gone through 5 of the most legendary, most controversial, and most rule-breaking JDM cars ever built, all from a global perspective. These cars terrified regulators because, honestly, no one was ready for something this good. They were too fast, too advanced, too different, and instead of adapting, a lot of governments simply said, nope. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these 5 would you import if you could, no matter where you live? And which JDM car do you think should have made this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this worldwide look at JDM history and controversy, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and remember, dream big, even if your garage is small. See you in the next one.